everyone, I'm Whitney and I post sewing and crafting tutorials here on my YouTube channel, but today I wanted to do something fun and a little bit different, and I'll be sharing the top 5 favorite projects that I've ever made. I went through and thought of all of the things that I have sewed in my entire life, which I've been sewing since I was an early teen, so it's been quite a while, and these are the 5 projects that really stand out to me and just really seem to make a difference in my skill level and my confidence level and just everything, and so that's why I want to share it with you. And at first I couldn't really figure out what order I wanted to share them in because it's hard to rank them like in actual like first place, second place, and that kind of thing. So I decided to share them from my earliest to most recent. So the very first one is going to be Newsboy Hats. I've made many of these. I made the very first one back when I was in college. I was sitting around thinking one day I wanted some new hats. I really like hats, but my head is small, and so I have trouble with a lot of store-bought hats just don't really fit very well. And also being in college, I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend. So I looked online and found some information about how to sew fabric hats together, and all my friends had actually gone home for the weekend, so I was pretty much alone and had the whole weekend to do whatever I wanted. So I got started. I cut up a corduroy skirt that I had and made my very first hat. I ended up making, I think it was 8 hats in my dorm room that weekend. Once I started making them, I just kept going. I wanted to improve them, and it was just so much fun to do. I was having such a blast making these hats, and they looked so cute. I got tons of compliments on them, and so I kept making them. I started selling them to my friends. I actually opened my Etsy store to sell hats because I had so many that I didn't know what else to do with them. The second thing on my list is the dress that I made for my costuming final. My senior year of college, I took a costuming and makeup class for my theater minor. I have a speech theater minor. I was already the theater department costumer at the time, but I still needed to take the class for credits. And so our big project for the portion of the semester that was costuming was to make something using a sewing pattern, and we had to alter the pattern in some way. So we either had to like change the fit of it, or we could like shorten the clothing item or whatever. I actually had to make the garment bigger than the original pattern, and I shortened it. So that was the changes that I made to my pattern. So I picked a vintage pattern out of the huge stash that we had in the costume shop, and then I went to Walmart and I found some really pretty teal fabric in the clearance section. It was, I think, $1 a yard. It was so pretty. I had no idea what it was made out of. It wasn't even marked, like what the fabric content was, but I just loved the fabric so much, and I got to work making the dress, and I learned so much. I had only made like a handful of actual patterns at that point, so it was a really great learning experience for me. I did have to ask my mom on a few things, like what it meant, but I did not let her touch my dress at all because I wanted to do every bit of it myself. And I really love how the dress turned out. I still wear it every once in a while. My only regret is that I was still terrified of using a serger at the time, so the inside seams are not really finished. So they are fraying a bit, and so that is my only like disappointment with the project at all. Next up is the Tenzin cosplay that I made for my husband. He came to me one day and asked me if I would make him a costume, and I said, for what? And he showed me a picture of a character from a show I had never watched and said, will you make this cosplay for me? I want to have a cosplay. And I said, does he wear anything else? I really don't want to make that one. So Jeremiah found where the character had worn a different outfit in the series, and I said, I can make that one. And he said he was okay with that. He didn't mind which outfit I made for him. He just wanted to dress up as this character, and it's Tenzin from Legend of Korra. So I started doing research. Like I said, I'd never seen the show. So Jeremiah helped me with finding little short video clips and all the pictures that we could possibly find of this character in this outfit that he only wears for, I think, 2 scenes in the entire show. It was my first time making any sort of cosplay. I've done costumes, but I've never had to like accurately recreate a character's outfit, and I am so proud of how it turned out. And then he did wear the costume to a convention, and he won, I believe it was 2nd place in a contest with it, so that was really exciting for me. The next one is actually kind of a few different things in one, and it is all the baby carriers I've made. I have made a woven wrap from a tablecloth, I've made 2 Maytay carriers, and then I've made a soft structure toddler carrier. I do a fairly decent amount of baby wearing, and so it was important to me to have the kind of wraps and carriers that I wanted, but not have to spend an insane amount of money on them. And now that Peyton is older, even though she is almost 2 and she is the size of a 3-year-old, she still occasionally wants to be carried or worn. You know, and I don't want to just be like, oh, sorry, you're too big, or oh, I'm busy carrying Skylar, you know. So that's why I made the toddler carrier, so either me or Jeremiah can wear her on our back if she wants to be carried for an extended time. Or if we go somewhere and she gets tired and we don't have a stroller with us, we can wear her that way. For both the Maytay and the toddler carrier, I did a lot of research. I looked at a lot of pictures, figured out exactly what measurements I needed to make patterns, and just all the different elements that go into them. So I'm really proud of how I was able to figure them out. And with both types of carriers, my first attempt was successful, which is awesome because not every project is a success, especially if it is your like your test or your trial version. So I was so happy that they turned out how I wanted and were good and usable and everything like that. I think the one I made for Peyton, the soft structured toddler size carrier, is my favorite because even when Jeremiah is carrying her in it, he has commented about how comfortable it is and how like secure it feels and everything, as compared to the like cheaper store-bought one we had used a couple times. He did not like it. He prefers mine like far and above. So that is, you know, feels really good as a creator to know that not only are my children being carried and held like they want to be, but they are comfortable, and the carriers I made for them are comfortable for them and for us. On the toddler one, I actually included this foam right here, the Basel NR Foam Plus. It is a fusible foam stabilizer, and I included it in the waist, the straps, the hip area, and the neck area to make sure that there was just enough comfort and support there. Because you can look at like soft structured toddler carriers online and you can tell that they have foam in those areas, and that is what I wanted mine to be similar to. And finally, my most recent favorite project is actually one that you all have never seen before. All the other projects you've seen some sort of either picture on Facebook or shown in a video or even a full how-to for, but this one is a total surprise. I've shared the fabrics that I used, but I've never showed the project itself. And that is my newest quilt. It's a quilt that I designed called Charming Rainbows, and I've been designing quilts for years. I made my first quilt designs when I was 18, so almost 12 years ago. And I have worked on quilts and mini quilts and different projects along the way. It is the first full-size quilt that I've designed, pieced, quilted, and completely finished. I'm so proud of how it turned out, and I actually finished it a few months ago, but because of the holiday how-tos and things I already had planned for this channel, I had to save it. It's been so hard because I really wanted to share it with you all, but it is coming soon on this channel. There will be a full video tutorial along with a companion PDF that you'll be able to download from my website. I'm so excited for you all to be able to see the full project, and I hope you like it as much as I do. So that has been my top 5 favorite sewing projects, and I had so much fun doing this, I decided to turn it into a tag. So I would love for you to let me know either in the comments or in your own video what your 5 favorite sewing projects are. And if you do a video, then make sure to leave a link in the comments so I can watch it, because I want to know what you all have loved making. I will have the how-tos for the Newsboy Hat and the Maytay baby carrier linked right over here and here. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe by clicking my picture right down there. I post a new video every single Wednesday, and next week there will be a new how-to coming on Whitney Sews, so make sure to come back for that. And until then, happy sewing!